we have done quite a few builds here on the channel. But in the looks department, in the performance department, and in just the overall aesthetic of the build, nothing comes close to this. I feel like every time I build one of these airsoft guns, I keep saying, this will be the last. And honestly, this one might be. Full disclosure, this thing started out its life as a EMG Noveski NSR, and it was sent to me to review by EMG. I was originally gonna pick up a different color, but as soon as I saw this one coming onto the market, I knew I had to have it. So I was like, EMG, come on, please, please, please let me have this one. The beautiful M81 God's Plaid or Woodland Camo has become a favorite and a staple here on the Kraken channel. My brother has a full M81 loadout, and my good friend G-Man also has a full M81 loadout as well, but I had to go the extra mile and put it on my gun as well. I get asked all the time, is this a hydro dip or a custom paint job or something? But no, this is Cerakoted right from the factory, and it is gorgeous. I will say though, unfortunately, I'm not sure what's going on, but it has started to chip quite a bit. I think it looks even cooler now with the chipping going on. It looks kind of battle worn and stuff like that. So I love it, but Cerakote's not really supposed to chip, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, I'm still happy with it. As long as I can remember from my airsoft journey, starting back like 12 years ago now, I've wanted something Noveski, and I've never owned anything Noveski until now. And it is gorgeous. They have quickly become my favorite real steel manufacturer. All I want now is Noveski. It is just drop dead gorgeous. Everything from the pins that are in the gun have Noveski branding on them. The charging handle, just everything is above and beyond, and it all fits together so seamlessly and creates a really sleek and unique look, in my opinion. It even has a flared magwell built right into the body and makes reloading insanely easy, and also looks really, really cool and a little aftermarket, even though it's just built right into the gun. But that's enough on the body. Let's talk internals. So when I first got this gun, it was an AEG, and I was really, really happy with it. However, if I have an HPA engine just kicking around collecting dust, I'm not gonna just sit there and let it be used by another one of my friends who I'm loaning my gun out to that day or something like that. I was like, come on, man, I gotta use that thing. So I stripped out the gearbox, which was already a really good gearbox. Actually, it performed really, really well. And I threw in my HPA engine, which is a Polar Star jack. Now to complement that Polar Star jack, I've also got a Blackleaf Customs trigger board in there. And this thing takes the jack to a whole nother level and makes it so much more usable, in my opinion. If you're playing Speed QB or like super aggressive airsoft, having the jack is awesome because you can just spam that trigger all day, but there's really no sensitivity to the trigger whatsoever. I had that thing tuned so short, it was ridiculous. I remember being at battles and just having my radio in my pouch and just accidentally bumping my trigger with my radio antenna caused my gun to shoot the ground, and it was driving me crazy. But also, like, when you would shoot, there was no feedback. There was just nothing. And I think that's why I took such a liking to GBBRs, because there was such a kinetic feedback to the shooting experience. But the Blackleaf custom board changes everything. You just drop it in there and replace it with the original Polar Star trigger board, and it gives it such a tactile click and response to your trigger pull that is just second to none. It's awesome. It makes the shooting experience so much more kinetic and just an exciting experience. You can still spam that trigger like crazy. but it just slows you down a little bit, makes you think a bit more, but also just gives you a bit more feedback, and I love it. I'm a big fan of HPA, always will be, always have been, and it is just fantastic and just instant performance. What more is there to say about it? I love it. For my optic, I'm currently using an Aimpoint T2 replica sitting on top of a Unity fast riser. And I love this combination. It is just so effective and so deadly on the field. I'm the type of guy who used to never use a red dot sight because it took so much more time and effort to look down it. I also used to run a paintball mask all the time, so that has something to do with it too. But even with a paintball mask, if that's something you choose to run, this riser and sight setup is easily viewable with that configuration. As much as it's not really necessary to use a red dot sight in airsoft, it definitely takes a lot of that guesswork out of your first couple shots. Now sitting up in front of that, this is kind of the lame part of the build. I just have a dummy pec box. It doesn't do anything, it just looks cool and sits there. I don't know why I have it on there, I just think it looks neat, all right, leave me alone. Below that, I have a Magpul Real Steel RSA mount. For mounting my sling of choice is the Faro Concepts Slingster, and of course, it's an M81. Love the sling, big fan of it. Nothing else to really say there. Moving forward for my flashlight, I have an IED attached to the front of my gun. It is the Olight Odin Mini. And as much as people love to hate on Olight, this is airsoft, it really doesn't matter. Use what you can afford, and I love this light. I think it's fantastic. The lumen output for the price, the mounting, everything is just so seamless. It's really, really good. I really like it, so leave me alone. Now below that, I have some M-LOK Magpul rail covers. I'm pretty sure this is like the newest V2 or whatever. I can't even remember, I got it a while ago. But I really, really like the way that this feels. Gives it some nice texture on the front of your gun. The M-LOK slots don't really bug my hands, but I just thought it looked cool and gives you some grippy texture to hold on to. Now below that, I actually have a 3D printed, I actually just recently got a 3D printer, and I 3D printed myself an emissary grip. I think this is super cool. I think the grip looks fantastic. It's super comfortable, really holds my hand into the forward position that I need it to be in, and it doesn't budge. It's really solid. I personally own a resin printer, and it prints much denser than like a PLA or extruder printer would. So it looks like the real thing, and I think it feels great. Yeah, it's solid, I like it. Up front, I typically use a tracer. However, we're not playing indoors anymore, unfortunately. If you want to know why, check out my last video. But I actually have a 3D printed Surefire flash hider on the end there. Again, I 3D printed this. I think it looks neat, does the job, and I've lost all my birdcage flash hiders somehow. So this was the next best bet, and I think it looks kind of neat. For my mag of choice, I'm using the EPM-1S by PTS. I think these mags are amazing. I love the short look. I think they just look so cool. They hold 170 rounds in a mid-cap mag. They're fantastic. There's so many other videos, people talking about them. Super good. My brother runs the full-size 250 round ones. They're great as well. I'm a big fan of PTS mags, all I own now. I also have the SpeedQB purple ones. These are neat. I like to run them sometimes too. But these are my mag of choice for sure. Also 3D printed again. I have some Ranger plates 3D printed for the bottom of them, so it just makes drawing them out of my vest a little quicker, or out of my belt or whatever. I think they look really cool again, and they do the trick. Also for my trigger setup, I'm using a purple Cerakoted speed trigger with the 2 adjustment screws. Definitely get the 2 adjustment screws. It's fantastic. You can tune it to your heart's content, and it just works flawlessly. No complaints. And for my internal barrel setup and all that, I've got quite the barrel setup going on right now. Something new that I haven't really tried before. I'm usually a Prometheus guy. It's what I stick to because it's what I know. But this time I decided to go with Maple Leaf. So I've got a Maple Leaf 6.02 inner barrel. Again, this was kind of my CQB setup, so I'm not sure if this will change when I go outdoors and try it out. But that's what I'm rocking right now for barrel. And then I've got the Maple Leaf MR bucking in there as well. It's the blue one. I think it's the 60 degree, again, for indoor. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to change this for when I go outdoors, but we'll have to see. And then for hop-up setup, I've got the Max model hop-up unit. Been using this hop-up unit for a long time now. I love it. It's really, really good. And then I've just got a flat nub in there for my hop-up setup. But yeah, that is pretty much this build in a nutshell. It's working really, really well. I'm really enjoying it. A lot of you guys have been commenting saying that you like it, you want to see more of it. Again, I apologize for being gone for so long, but here we are, new build update. I've also got another build that I want to talk about. We'll get on that one soon, as well as let me know if you guys want to see a full 3D printing video. It's something that I'm doing a lot of right now, and I'd like to talk about it more, how it fits into airsoft, and yeah, the good, the bad, the ugly of 3D printing. So it's something I'm considering doing. Let me know if you're interested. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video, you guys. We'll see you in the next one. Stay awesome. Peace.